Hey everybody, welcome to my basement. Today we are going to install the Remora wheelbase extender made by Whitetail Skateboards. We'll be installing this on the Flamingo, the Whitetail Flamingo. Yeah, let's do this. First thing first, you're going to need a good workable surface. So here we go. Here's my surface. I tend to do all my work uh, here. You know what? Let's just use this surface over here. Some things you will need to do this. Nothing serious. A drill. I use a lithium battery drill. I love it. You will need a 732 drill bit. I like to use a Phillips head on the electric drill as well. And when I need to, I will use a hand screwdriver as well. You don't have to have one of these, but I forget what these are called. These will make a nice round hole that your skate hardware, your bolt, can just nestle straight into and be flush with the deck. I really like these. It does a nice clean job. And you will need your sticker guide. This is like a stencil for where to drill, so you'll want one of those. I also have quick trucks ready to be installed. I really like the quick truck system. It is fantastic. I highly recommend it. You can swap trucks with the cinch of a click. It's great. Get it. It's worth the investment. Oh yeah, and you're also going to need your deck. So step one for me here on the Flamingo is I'm going to install the Remora up front. The holes here are actually already drilled. So as you can see, the holes are here, and it has nice bend here. So the Remora will keep your truck angle where it needs to be. So I think on a standard deck, the holes would be here and here, which they are drilled here. You do have that option on the Flamingo, but I want to extend my wheelbase. So it's going to be here. Now the thing you really want to watch out for, you got to make sure that this is straight. Your Remora has to be flush with your board, okay? You don't want to be drilling holes and have your Remora like that, because your truck is going to be at an angle and you will have you'll have undesirable characteristics. So you want to keep it perfectly straight like that. So you could put a ruler on it and check it. You could do it by eye if you want. I do things by eye a lot, and it works out fine for me. All right, so we got the front of the Flamingo here. The Remora is going to be going on right here. So these guys are just going to kind of line up here. And then the holes for the front are right through here. So what we got to do here, you got to make sure you get the right hardware and all your different lengths and stuff, because the front bolts will be longer. So for my fronts, I'm using these guys here just because it's what I have. I have to use an Allen key to do it, so normally I would not use those, but it's what I got and it's the right length, so there you go. And the quick truck will be going on there. So let's start. Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. When you skate, you begin with "Don't scrape my knee." Alright, so here we go. Of course, I can't find the hole. One. Oh, yeah. So one thing I want to point out is that when you're using this guy here and you're creating a nice little pocket for your bolt head to sit in, you're actually, when you're dealing with this angle here, you're going to start it like that. But remember, your bolt actually wants to go straight down. And straight up and down is that way. But the angle here is more this way. So join me as we drill this. You start on the angle. And then start to bend it this way. Guide it. Okay, and then it's going to come along. Okay, you probably have to do that a few times. The truth is that my bit is super dull, so I'm going to have to do it a few times. And then just check. You'll feel it with your thumb. It's still raising up just a little bit right there, so I'm going to do it just a little bit more. Keep in mind, you'll snug it in tight, and that'll pull it in too. There, that'll be good. And then just go ahead and do the other two. Here. So, once you got those done, you gotta just pop in your bolts. Like so. And then carefully flip your board over. There we go. And we'll just go ahead and place the Remora like this. All right. So it should look something like this. And then we'll attach our quick truck system. I recommend installing the two bottom bolts first. Once they are grabbing the threads, you may need to use your thumb or your hand or whatever and push the Remora down a little bit, not much, just to get this hole and this hole to be nice and clear and lining up down below. As you're snugging up these four bolts, it's important that you don't just tighten one all the way, that you get them each biting on the threads with your bolt in the back or your quick truck or whatever. Get the first few threads started and then move on to your next bolt, okay? Because you kind of don't want to just put all the pressure onto one corner. You want to sort of have the whole thing snugging in as one piece. That way you won't have as many problems with, say, like alignment and things like that. And I am using instead of an Allen key, I'm just using the bit on my drill. I started at a 5 and I'm up to a 7, and now I'm going to a 9. I'm going to check my threads in the back here. Okay, got a bit more to go. I'm going to put it up to an 11. Okay, I'm going to put it up to a 13. And I'm squeezing that on there as I'm doing this. Okay, go. Good. See if I can get a little bit more out of these bottom guys. Just keep tightening the top versus the bottom in increments of each other. You'll find as you tighten the top, you'll have a bit more, it'll be a little bit easier to tighten those bottom ones again, and vice versa. All right, so now I'm going to go back to the top, and I'm just going to dial this back to a 7. Okay, up to a 9 again. And back up to 13, just give it a little one here. Okay, and after that I'm going to go back to my Phillips, the bottom ones. Squeeze and push. Squeeze back here, push here. Okay. Good. So guys, that is my front Remora with quick trucks installed. Quick trucks are going nice and smooth. Sometimes they stick a bit, like if you got the alignment a little off, you want to get the pressure in each corner the same. So that's going good. See, there it is, installed. And nice and smooth. The bolts aren't sticking up, because you know that'll probably drive me crazy if the one was raised a bit every time I put my foot and moved it around. So let's get on to the back. So lining up the Remora and just doing a quick mock-up here, we're going to piggyback on these two bolts. So they will become the inner bolts. So right now those are the inner bolts, but we're not going to use those. We're going to use these as the inner bolts, and we're going to drill 2 more here. So we're going to line this up, and then remember, you've got to make sure that you get a nice continuous flat angle, or your truck will be wonky. So yeah, it continues straight. I have already checked this, so I'm not too worried about proving it to you, but let's just go ahead and do a quick measure here. That'll give us a 21-inch wheelbase. Okay, so here we are, different angle. We've got the flamingo. We're going to be drilling a hole here and drilling a hole here. So let's go ahead and do that. Now these 2 holes for me will line up with these 2. So that's not that hard. I can do that pretty easily. This arrow here will point to the back of the deck. So take your time with this, you know, like you want to line your holes up. There's no rush. Take your time. Don't worry, be happy. Okay, now, as a reference, we'll have a look here. Okay, so I want to use kind of more of that top hole with the funny double one there. So the top one is what I'm aiming for. And I have to make sure that I drill straight through and don't follow the angle exactly. Okay, so let's get my trusty drill, and I'm just going to start it. Just so that I have a mark. Okay. Okay. So, my holes are started. Now I'm going to drill straight down and through. So with our holes drilled, we can go ahead and peel this off. If you can get it peeled off. And save it if you want, or throw it out. I don't care. But, oops, mine's ripping. I think I have one from my last Remora, so if I lose this one, it's not the end of the world. Okay. And then you can just sort of stick it right back on there, put the cover over it, and throw it in the drawer. Okay, so few little rough edges here. I'll get those out. And here are our holes right here. Okay, so let's go back to this bit here and just clean these holes out and just get them ready. And I'll do these ones too, just so that my bolt head sits nicely in there. Let's just say that you test fit your bolt through and you find that the bolt is not going straight through, that it's going a little bit on an angle. Don't panic. You didn't ruin your deck. Just take your drill bit again and just go in there, and just as it's drilling, just turn it the angle you want it to go. And just up and down a bit, clean it out. Okay. That looks pretty straight up and down to me. So here we are, the rear of the board. I've put my hardware through, and what you want to do is just test fit your Remora. Make sure everything is good. So the front two line up with that one, and then the other two are in the hole. Okay, that's good. And I'm going to grab my quick truck. It's going to go here. Now I'm going to sit down and I'm going to get those threads biting. So I'm not going to lie to you, with the quick trucks and the Remora and all these different setups like that, I do sometimes feel like I'm wrestling with my board a little bit to get everything to line up just right, and it can be tricky. You can get a little frustrated doing this stuff, but stay patient. It's going to be okay. So I'm going to start by getting the two top ones, get those threads biting first. Deep breath, just relax. It's okay, it's okay. It doesn't help that my hardware is it's kind of old, that my Allen key kind of the heads on them are just kind of starting to get a little stripped, so it just doesn't make things easier for me. But hey, nobody's fault but mine, right? So I think I got the first one going. I'll just line that up. Because the angled spots can be a little tricky for sure. It's possible they are already biting. So right now my Remora is just a little out of alignment. I'm just going to pull it down. So you do have like a little bit of play right now at this point. So do the two tops where you have the thicker part of the Remora, and then do the bottom two. You have more play with the bottom two, then you do the tops. So that's what I recommend you do. And you know, look, have a light behind your holes and have a look and make sure that the holes look perfect. Because I've had it before where I look through the lights and they're not quite lining up, and I have to go back in there and fiddle with it and pull my hair out and cry a little bit. Why is it lining up with I drilled it just right? Well, you know, stick with it. You'll figure it out. Okay, so here is our rear. You can see here, these are sitting nicely in their pockets. We have them installed. We have the Remora. We have it nice and straight with the deck. We have our extended wheelbase in the rear. So my foot's gonna end up being right here. So we got our two rear bolts here. My foot will be right back here, either right here or hanging half off. My front foot is going to be right there in that sweet little pocket right there. Oh yeah! Thanks for watching this video. I know it's kind of long, but you know, I want you to feel good and confident about what you're doing to your board. Because once you drill, you know, it's kind of a permanent thing. So if you had a hard time or you have questions and you're struggling, just reach out, leave me a comment, ask a question, whatever. And if I can help you out, I will. All right, happy skating, guys.